my screen, I have drill project 2 opened up. This is where we left off last class. We're almost done with it. We need to do a few things. Anytime I open up a new project or open up an existing project, and I want to get an idea where we left off, I'll just select the entire first operation toolpath group, or I'll select the toolpath group, and then I will run it and verify. It'll give me a good idea where I left off. I have to wait a moment for it to open up. It opens up a second window, and we are now in verify. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that stop condition collision is turned on. I can increase the precision. I can speed it up a little bit. I'll select play. And you can see the initials are engraved in the top of the part. And everything looks to be good. I'm looking for things that look out of the ordinary. The geometry that's driving the initials or driving the engraving should be centered on the machined initials. So from here, I can exit out of verify. I'm looking at my toolpath manager, and I'm seeing that I don't have any stock, or I don't have the stock model of the finished part created yet. And you can see how I can minimize these as the toolpath manager gets a little busier. We have more toolpaths in it. It starts to get cluttered, and you can minimize these to make more room for additional toolpaths and stock models. So I need to create a stock model of the finished part. Insertion arrows at the very end of my toolpath group. I'll go to the toolpaths tab. In the stock section, I'll select stock model. And for the name of this stock model, we could call it drill project or part complete or finished part, something like that. In this case, I'll call it finished part. For the initial stock shape, what did the part look like before we actually machine it with this toolpath? I'm going to use the drilled holes stock model. From here, I'll go to the source operation, and I'm going to select the contour toolpath that we use to engrave our initials into that top surface. So from here, I'll select OK. It processes it. I'm still looking at it in a shaded mode. If I change back to a non-translucent mode, and then if I go to the level manager, I can make the solid model level invisible. I can make the name level invisible. Now, if I zoom in, you can see the initials have been machined into the top face of the part, and that's what I'm checking for. So everything looks good. So from here, I'll make the solid model level visible again. I can go back to the toolpath manager. I can toggle off the visibility of the stock model. I'll look at it from an isometric view. I'll fit my screen, and then I'll unzoom by 80%. And this would be a good time for me to save my work. So that's going to complete this project, but I want to show you guys how to make the additional or create the additional required files for this project. Now, for the midterm and for the final and for all of your projects, you're going to be required to turn in the Mastercam file, the setup sheet. Let's see here. There'll be you will not be required to turn the NC files and NCI files for the projects, but I'm showing you this so you can do it for the midterm. You guys have the home learning edition of the software, so you won't be able to do this next step. So I want to create an NC file, an NCI file based off of these toolpaths. Select the first operation toolpath group. You have a green check next to everything. Everything is selected. Don't worry about the stock models. They will not appear inside of the NC file. So with everything selected, you're going to select the G1 icon. It brings up this dialog box. And I want to create the NC file and the NCI files. I'll accept the default settings here, and then I'll select OK. Make sure that they're being saved to the correct location. So this particular NCI file is being saved to the drill project 2 folder. That's what I want. The file name will be drill project 2 with a different extension. The extension will be NCI. I'll select save. And then it brings up the save dialog box for the NC file. Once again, make sure that it's being saved in the correct location. Correct, it has a name that makes sense. And then I'll select save. And when you save the NC file, it's going to open up our NC editor. We're using Code Expert in this case. And this will show us what the NC file will look like that will be sent to the machine. So here's the G&M code that the machine understands. And if you take the 150 class, we actually write these types of programs by hand. So you'll become very familiar with what's going on inside of this program. So once you create this file, you can exit out of the NC code editor. And what I'll do is I'll go to my working folder. I'll open up File Explorer. And if I go to, let's see here, my working folder. So 2021, this is the fall 160 class. And we've completed drill project 1, and we're currently working on drill project 2. If I open up drill project 2, I've got my Mastercam file, I've got my NC file, and I've got my NCI file. One additional file that we'll create for this project will be called the setup sheet. To create the setup sheet, you're going to go back to the toolpath manager. I recommend that you look at it from an isometric view. So set your graphics view to an isometric view because this view will appear on your setup sheet. In the toolpath manager, I'm going to find an open area, right click. From the flyout menu, I'll select the setup sheet. On this first page, project, let's call this drill project 2. The customer, I've got it set to San Diego City College. The programmer put your name, not my name, your name. And I'll accept the default settings for everything that you see here. I'll select OK. And we'll let Mastercam do what it has to do.
So yeah, obviously, and this might be a dumb question, but we're not able to do this with the home versions, right? I tried clicking G1 and it said
no, you can't. With the home learning edition of the software, you cannot create the NC files or the NCI files. You'll have to do that. You're not required to do that for the projects, but for the midterm and for the final, when you guys actually go face to face at the school, that will be a requirement. That's why I'm showing you guys how to do it with every project that we do. It's really straightforward. All you got to do is click on the G1 icon and make sure that the files are being saved to the correct location.
All right, just double checking. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, so once Mastercam opens up the active reports viewer, double check what the setup sheet looks like. Make sure everything looks good. And the big thing is, the isometric views look good. And from here, we're not done. We need to save this file as a PDF. So you'll go to File, Save As, Portable Document Format, PDF. And make sure you save this in the correct location. So once again, I'm looking in my class folder in the project folder. And I'll call this Drill Project 2. I'll save it. File saved. Now, if I go back to my working folder, you can see I now have 4 folders here, or I'm sorry, 4 files within the folder. And this is what I would turn into Canvas. And I'll show you guys how to do that right now. So you can't upload a folder inside of Canvas. You'll need to compress it or zip it up. So depending on your computer, yours might be different than mine. But what I'll do is I'll right click on the folder and then I'll go to 7-zip. And I'll select add to drill project 2 zip. And what that does is it creates another folder, a zipped up folder. And this one I can upload to Canvas. Now you're not actually uploading or turning in drill project 2. I just want to demonstrate this. I'm going to demonstrate this several times before you're actually required to do it. So from here, I'll go back to Canvas. And I'll go to the modules. So we have the discussions. That's where you're going to find all the information you need to work through the project. But when we get down to drill project 4, you're going to be required to go to the drill project assignment. So if I click on the assignment, now remember, you're not turning in this one. I'm just demonstrating this. So drill project assignment, I click here. Use the Mastercam software to generate the model and toolpaths needed to complete drill project 4. Now this is drill project 2. You're not turning this in. Use the videos from the previous lectures to complete this assignment. Once you have completed the assignment, you'll submit your work by uploading the Mastercam file to this page. So there's also a grading rubric, so you can double check everything that you've done, make sure that you've completed the project. So here, I'll go to, let's see here, I need to go to student view, hold on, student view. I'll select new attempt. Actually, I'll have to reset it. Try that again, modules, drill project assignment. If I select start assignment, here's where I can upload the file. So I select upload file. I select choose file. I navigate to where that folder is located. And I'm uploading the zipped file. So drill project 2, zip archive, select open. It appears here, and then I'll select submit assignment. All right, so once it's submitted, if I go to my grades, you can see that something has been turned in. It's just waiting for us to grade it for you. So this is a good way for you to track what you've done, what you might be missing, the grades that you've received on it. You can turn in the assignments up to 2 times. So what you can do, if you upload a file and then it gets graded, we're going to provide to you this thing called a rubric. And depending on how you did, you can see how you scored, and there'll be some type of comment. If you missed something, there'll be a comment say, hey, go back and do this, or you missed this. You can go back in and fix it and then resubmit it, and we'll regrade it and you'll get the higher grade. So that's how the assignments are going to work. That's how you're going to turn in the assignments. So from here, I can exit the student view. I'll go back to the project page. Let's just double check to see that we've done everything that we need to do. Come down here. That's the tool list. So step 5, use the contour toolpath to engrave your initials in the part. We've done that. Step 6, create the NC file using the post-selected operations icon. Once again, you will not be able to do this with the home learning edition of the software. I'm showing it to you, so when we get back to the school, you guys will be able to do that. It's pretty straightforward. So that's going to complete drill project 2. And we're now going to move on to drill project 3.